What irritates you way more than it should? The little knot bump on socks that sits in front of my baby toe. I once broke down because no matter how I situated my sock I could still feel it jabbing into my toe. I stayed home from school that day. I was inconsolable. Now I buy the same socks every time and have a whole method of wearing them correctly. My boyfriend always wears his socks inside out so this doesn't happen. The feel of the little knots on his feet irritate him. When I feel a sneeze that continues to build and then nothing. Nasal blue balls is the worst. Look into a bright light. I recently bought a box of Sainsbury's decaf red label tea. The box is blue. This has been bothering me all week. Is the label red? Oh, I recognize your username. Aren't you the person who made that absolutely hilarious comment about that author who kept reusing the line about whiskey? I think about it all the time for some reason. Being told to do something I am already in the process of doing. Me carrying out the trash can. Mom, don't forget to put out the trash. Me, what did you think I was doing? Taking the trash for a walk? Mom, empty the dishwasher. Me, okay, I go to the dishwasher. Mom, have you started yet? Me, well, now I'm not doing it. People parking right next to me in a nearly empty parking lot, especially when I park near the back. Similar, but urinal etiquette. There is an entire row of urinals to use, 10, why you have to piss right beside me? This makes me stupid angry. I usually park far because I decided to eat in my car and don't want anyone to look at me. And some arsehole parks right next to me and looks over. Ike. Being told that I'm angry or crying when I'm doing neither. Being told to smile more. So I just frown harder. Resting bitch face FTW. Shit irritates me too. Don't try to put emotions I don't have in me to make yourself feel more important. I'm not going to cry or get mad because you made an asshat comment. I just let that shit go and move on. When someone tells me I'm wrong when I know I'm remembering things clearly. Oh gosh, I hate this. Or they tell me that I'm remembering something that according to them never happened. Bitch, it did happen. You just don't want to admit it happened. This happens to me often and I know I'm probably right, because at the times when it can be proven I was right, I always am. Being questioned on everything I do. Why? The phrase, it won't kill you. I know that. I still don't want to do it. Jumping off your roof won't kill you. So what? Don't worry, you'll only shatter 97% of the bones in your body and be left permanently paralyzed. Walk it off. Excessive loud noise. It just makes me feel on edge. I hate how very few people seem to be aware or give a shit about the noise they make. Whereas I am acutely aware of the noise I make and I feel bad for having to make excessive noise. I live in an apartment. For me it's other people's noise in general. I'm very sensitive to it. I live in a block of flats so hear neighbors' noises all the time, doors closing, their kids screaming, them talking, and even though it's not an unreasonable level of noise I just get annoyed and want them to be silent. I know that I'm the one being unreasonable here so I never complain about it to them, I just sit being annoyed until they've stopped making noise. The fact that I can't change my Reddit username. I deleted the wrong account once because I'm an idiot, realized a month or so later. Never getting it back or the username. The fact that I did a typo. It's supposed to be Terra Turtle, not Terrature. Walking behind a group of people who are walking so slow. Hurry the fuck up or let me pass. And when they're also taking up the whole walkway/hallway. The hallways on the main floor of buildings at my uni are quite wide, and a group of 3 people can still manage to make it impossible for one person to pass. When people talk on speakerphone in public settings. There is a guy at work who talks to his wife and all his screaming kids over the phone on speakerphone. He does this almost every day in the break room on break. One time, he had his wife on speakerphone and she was literally taking a shit during the phone call. So now, he more or less gets the break room to himself. Fuck that greasy bastard. When people leave a few seconds of time left on the microwave and don't reset it. People in public listening to music/watching videos on their phone without headphones. No Deborah, not everyone in the break room wants to hear your shitty motivational videos while they're just trying to relax and take their break in peace. Same goes for Braden with the video game videos. Edit, autocorrect doesn't want me to swear. Holy hell, I hate this. I was at the hospital the other day and this woman in her like mid-30s, old enough to know better and young enough to know technology, walks in and just blares a video on her phone, and it was so ducking terrible. Being told to calm down when I'm not angry or upset. I know people use the term as a power play to actually get you to become upset. Yeah, geez, I was debating somebody who in every single comment either told me to calm down or pointed out how frustrated or upset I was. I reread everything and couldn't determine how any rational person could have interpreted what I said in that fashion. He was simply using it to try to get a rise out of me. The conversation finally ended when somewhere in his comment he backpedaled because how could I know that's what you meant, I'm not a mind reader, and I responded by telling him since he isn't a mind reader he should probably stop trying to assume my emotional state, especially considering how it's irrelevant to the conversation at hand. My life would be better if I stopped engaging with people on Reddit, but I think ever since being so serially staffed it's been hard to not. Calm down dude, it's not that big of a deal, it's just a word. People opening their mouth/smacking when chewing. I can't stand hearing other people eat. My poor mother, even though she chews with her mouth closed, she's the loudest chewer ever. I can hear the food churning around in her mouth and it grosses me out so damn much. I joke that she must have really thin cheeks, but inside I'm raging over it. My newest nuanced iteration of this is when people smack their mouth mid-sentence as a verbal tick, like using as a crutch word, but instead it's a mouth smack. It makes me want to crawl out of my skin. People who literally do nothing but complain about everything. Behind every silver lining is a cloud. For me it's people who complain about a fixable problem so much but never do a thing about it. You could have fixed the problem in all the time you were complaining. When the vibe in the house changes abruptly when someone else comes home. Or when that one person everyone hates comes into work. Can we acknowledge that having roommates in adult age might not be the best solution to overpriced housing and that it's a problem that needs to be addressed? Spam calls trying to sell me an extended warranty for my car. I get these all the time. Irony is I don't have a car and can't drive. You'd think they'd check that the person even owns a car before dialing. Calls in general TBH. People that like to debate on every single subject. I knew a girl who took pride in being on a debate team and would constantly argue with anyone over the smallest, dumbest things because of it. I think you are wrong and I am going to prove it to you in a debate. Similarly, people throwing in politics on stuff for no reason other than for the sake of arguing politics. Saw a lot of people do it last year with masks, and mask wearing shouldn't ever be political whatsoever. The shush noise. It's my pet peeve. Especially when the shush in itself is more disturbing than the original noise. Thank you. This has always been my biggest pet peeve and no one understands it. Literally drives me insane. My mom always gets so mad at me BC whenever she makes the shushing noise. She's a teacher so she does it all the time. It just makes me so angry. Can't stand it. When microwaves make loud beeping noise. Can't we have like a silent mode on that shit? Look on the number pad, usually holding 0 for 3 seconds will silence it. Yes. Especially at night. I work nights and the loud beeping sucks when I try to microwave something at 3 AM. The sound of teeth scraping on a fork. People that ask me why am I angry when I am not at all. It really fucking annoys me. And then they keep asking and you do get angry and they're like I knew it. A fellow resting bitch face I see. Getting a small wound in my hand/fingers out of nowhere. When you don't realize you have one and then put hand sanitizer and find out real quickly. My dad will start fights with me over things he says. Just minutes ago he almost started a fight because of the order he said something in. Context. Someone in town had been murdered. He said turns out your brother knew him. I said who, and he said brother's name. I said, well, I guessed it was brother's name. Who was murdered? He thought he said brother's name before he said your brother. He did not, and my mom and I had to stop a fight from happening and just agree with him. The infuriating part is that it can be anything from little shit like that to much more important things. This is obviously an out of the ordinary circumstance involving a murder, but the potential fight was a nearly everyday thing. Turns out it was a drug dealer my brother knew that was murdered. For anyone wondering, my brother's been clean for a long time now. I'm afraid he's going to be an angry senile old man fighting people because he forgets things. Jesus Christ, I had an anxiety attack just reading that. How old is your pops? Stuff like this is how a lot of people start to realize their loved one may be starting to show early signs of dementia/Alzheimer's/Parkinson, etc. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.